It sounded like the ball hit the bat. That's what the crowd thought. That's what the fielders thought. The pitcher even picked it up and threw it to first base for the out. But it didn't hit the bat. It hit Ray Chapman's skull. And in that split second, baseball collided with the consequences of its own design. For a moment, nobody reacted. The ball rolled slowly across the dirt. Carl Mays picked it up without hesitation. He threw to first base. Out. Just another routine play. Except Ray Chapman didn't move. He stood there, motionless, not arguing, not walking away, just standing. Then his knees gave out. He collapsed forward onto the dirt. At first, the crowd didn't understand what they were seeing. Hit batters were common. Pain was part of the game. Players shook it off. They got back up. But Chapman didn't get back up. Blood began to seep from his ear. The stadium, once loud, fell into a silence baseball had never heard before. Because in that moment, something became clear. This wasn't just a dangerous pitch. It was a pitch no one could truly control. And for decades, baseball had allowed it. August 16th, 1920, the Polo Grounds. The moment baseball lost its innocence. But here's the truth no one likes admitting. Ray Chapman's death wasn't just a tragic accident. It was an inevitable result of a game built to be dirty. We romanticize the dead ball era. Low scores, strategy, grit. But it wasn't just low offense. It was low visibility. Baseballs weren't clean. They were tobacco-stained, spit-soaked, mud-darkened lumps of leather that blended into the evening sky. And the weapon of choice was the spitball. A pitch so dangerous, Major League Baseball eventually banned it forever. Except they didn't. Not for everyone. To understand why this pitch killed a man, you have to understand how it worked. The knuckleball moves because it doesn't spin. The spitball is its darker twin. It changes friction. When a pitcher coats one side of the ball in saliva, sometimes mixed with tobacco juice or slippery elm, he alters how air grips the surface. The dry side grabs the air. The wet side slips through it. The result is a heavy, violent drop that happens at the last possible moment. Fastballs ride. Curveballs dive. Spitballs sink like a stone. But the movement wasn't the only danger. Visibility was. In 1920, baseballs weren't replaced often. They stayed in play until they were nearly unrecognizable. By the late innings, that ball wasn't white. It was brown, dark, almost invisible. Against a gray sky and wooden grandstands, a hitter didn't just have to time the pitch, he had to find it. Ray Chapman likely never did. Ray Chapman was beloved. Fast, smart, the heart of Cleveland's infield. Carl Mays was different. He threw submarine from his ankles, rising upward toward the batter like something uncoiling. He didn't mind pushing hitters back. Top of the fifth inning, the sky is overcast. The ball is old. Mays winds up. Witnesses said Chapman never moved. The crack echoed across the field. Mays thought it hit the bat. He fielded the ball. He threw to first base. It was only when Chapman collapsed, bleeding from his ear, that the stadium went silent. He died the next day. He remains the only player in Major League history killed by a pitched ball. The public wanted Carl Mays arrested, But the league knew something worse. The problem wasn't just maze, it was the conditions of the game itself. Baseball panicked. In 1921, the rules changed. Dirty balls were replaced immediately. Foreign substances were banned. No more spit, no more slippery elm. The freak delivery was outlawed. But banning the spitball created a new problem. An entire generation of pitchers depended on it. Their grips, their arm angles, their livelihoods were built around that pitch. If you ban the spitball overnight, you fire those pitchers overnight. So the league compromised. A grandfather clause. Each team could designate up to 2 pitchers who were allowed to keep throwing it. 17 men. 17 legal exceptions. 17 licenses to break a rule no one else could touch. Here's what rarely gets mentioned. Being on that list wasn't shame, it was power. Those 17 pitchers held a monopoly on chaos. Stan Coveleski was one of them. He was Ray Chapman's teammate. 2 months after watching his friend die from a dirty pitch, Coveleski used that same pitch to win 3 complete games in the World Series. Tragedy and triumph separated by 1 delivery. Then there was Red Faber, and finally Burley Grimes. They called him Ol' Stubblebeard. He didn't shave on game days because the slippery elm irritated his skin. He knew he was the last one. As the other 16 retired, Grimes became a relic of a dying era. He'd fake loading up the ball just to intimidate hitters. He won 270 games. He made the Hall of Fame. The spitball was banned in 1920, but for 14 years, batters still had to face it. When the spitball was banned, baseball didn't just remove a pitch, it removed unpredictability. It cleaned the ball. It brightened the game. Home runs rose. Offense exploded. The Babe Ruth era began. Baseball didn't just get safer, it became marketable. Maybe the spitball wasn't just dangerous, maybe it was inconvenient. When Burley Grimes retired in 1934, the spitball officially died. Or did it? Today, we see pitchers checked for sticky substances. We see spin rates spike. We see players ejected for pine tar. The desire to make the ball do something unnatural never disappeared. Ray Chapman's death cleaned the baseball. It didn't clean the game. It simply pushed the dark arts underground. So tell me what you think. Was the grandfather clause fair, or did baseball protect its own even after tragedy? And next on Diamond Depths, the pitch is so effective, they banned it twice. Because baseball gets darker the deeper you go.